There is a moment every parent eventually faces. It doesn't arrive with fanfare. There's no warning, no sudden alarm. It slips in quietly, like the shadow of a cloud passing over the sun. You notice it in the small things. A hesitation before a decision. A glance that lingers too long on comfort instead of effort. A whispered "I don't feel like it" when action is required. A pattern of postponing, delaying, avoiding, the tiny, almost invisible cracks in their daily habits. At first it seems harmless, maybe even natural. After all, they're still learning, they're still growing, they're allowed to pause, right? But deep down, you feel a tug in your chest. A question that won't leave you alone. Will the world be kind to them? Because here is the truth no parent wants to admit. The world doesn't owe your child anything. It won't slow down for hesitation. It won't comfort them for procrastination. It won't soften the blow when unpreparedness meets reality. The world is not here to protect their feelings. It is here to test their preparation. And make no mistake, life will always teach lessons. If we don't teach them first, life will. And life doesn't wait. Life doesn't care about excuses. Life doesn't offer patience or a second try. That quiet hesitation you see now, it will grow into larger challenges. Opportunities missed, doors closed, confidence shaken. And eventually, a day will come when your child faces consequences for which they are unready, and it will be too late to cushion the fall. That is why what we teach them now matters more than we often realize. The small lessons, the consistent nudges toward responsibility, discipline, and understanding, these are shields for the battles they will face later. Today, we're going to uncover 5 essential truths every parent must teach before life does it harshly. These are not lessons meant to scare. They are not warnings designed to create fear. They are the keys to strength, resilience, and independence. Because the world will challenge them, inevitably. The question is, will they crumble or will they stand firm? This is not about controlling their lives. It's about preparing their minds. Not about making life easy, but about giving them the tools to survive and thrive in a fragile, unpredictable age. So if you want to raise a child who is not just capable, but resilient, one who can navigate the storms of life with clarity and courage, then pay attention, because what comes next could shape the trajectory of their future. Let's begin. 1. Time does not wait. There's something dangerous about youth. It creates the illusion of endless tomorrows. When you're young, a year feels long. A month feels expandable. A missed opportunity feels replaceable. But time does not negotiate. It does not pause because someone wasn't ready. It does not slow down because someone didn't feel like it. Today, your child may say, "I'll do it later." Tomorrow, they may watch someone else succeed and wonder quietly why they were left behind. Time does not reward intention. It rewards movement. There are 2 types of people in every classroom, every workplace, every field. Those who prepare early. Those who assume there is more time. And the gap between them widens slowly, then suddenly. You don't wake up one day and realize you're behind. It happens in inches. Skipped practice. Delayed effort. Ignored discipline. Then one day the results appear and they are undeniable. Teaching a child about time is not about pressuring them. It's about teaching urgency without anxiety. It's about helping them understand. Every day is a vote for the future they will live in. If they waste today consistently, they are not staying neutral. They are building a future of regret. Help them see that progress is not built in dramatic bursts. It is built in small daily actions. 5 minutes of reading. 1 extra problem solved. 1 uncomfortable task completed. Time compounds, and so do habits. 2. Effort is not optional. We live in an era where convenience is everywhere. Food is instant. Entertainment is endless. Answers are searchable in seconds. But there is one thing that will never be automated: effort. Effort is the currency of growth. If effort is avoided now, life will demand it later. With interest without sympathy and without support, there is a cost to laziness. But the bill does not arrive immediately. That is why it's deceptive. When a child avoids effort today, nothing explodes. No alarm sounds. No visible damage appears. But what's happening quietly is far more dangerous. Their tolerance for discomfort is shrinking. And discomfort is where growth lives. If a child is not taught to endure boredom, frustration, and difficulty, they will struggle with adulthood. Because adulthood is filled with things you don't feel like doing. Showing up when tired. Working when uninspired. Learning when confused. The disciplined child becomes the capable adult. Not because they were the smartest, but because they were trained to continue when it wasn't exciting. Parents often protect children from struggle out of love. But removing every obstacle does not create strength. It creates dependency. The goal is not to make life hard for your child. The goal is to make your child strong for life. Teach them this. Effort is not punishment. It is preparation. And preparation creates options. 3. The world owes them nothing. This truth is uncomfortable but essential. The world does not owe your child success. It does not owe them recognition. It does not owe them a second chance. Those things are earned. And even a parent's love cannot substitute for ability. You can encourage. You can support. You can sacrifice. But you cannot live their life for them. The world responds to value. Not intentions. Not excuses. Not potential. Value. Can they solve problems? Can they communicate clearly? Can they adapt? Can they contribute? If the answer is yes, doors open. If the answer is no, doors close. This is not cruelty. It is reality. And reality is not something we shield our children from. It is something we prepare them for. There is a dangerous belief growing today that wanting something is enough. It is not. Desire without discipline is fantasy. Dreams without development are illusions. Teach your child to build skills, not just expectations. Teach them to create value before demanding rewards. When they understand that nothing is guaranteed, they become more focused, more grounded, more resilient, and paradoxically, more empowered. Because when you realize no one owes you anything, you stop waiting. You start building. 4. Knowledge is power, but not the kind most people think. Knowledge is not just memorizing facts. It's not just passing exams. It's not just earning certificates. True knowledge is learning how to think clearly, how to analyze instead of panic, how to speak confidently instead of shrinking, how to solve problems instead of blaming circumstances. That is power. The most dangerous disadvantage in life is not poverty. It is confusion. A confused mind is easily controlled. A trained mind is difficult to defeat. Teach your child how to think, not just what to think. Encourage curiosity. Encourage questioning. Encourage reading beyond assignments. Because the person who understands systems can navigate them. The person who understands people can influence them. The person who understands themselves can control their reactions. And self-control is a superpower in a reactive world. Knowledge builds independence. when your child can think for themselves. They don't collapse when guidance is unavailable. They don't depend on trends. They don't depend on approval. They become stable in unstable environments. That stability is rare, and rare is powerful. 5. Without preparation, life is unforgiving. Life does not slow down for the unprepared. It replaces them. The unprepared are underpaid, unstable, easily overlooked, not because they are bad people, but because they are not ready. In every industry, competition exists. In every opportunity, someone else is training. If your child is not preparing, someone else is. And when opportunity arrives, it does not ask who is kind. It asks who is ready. Preparation does not eliminate struggle, but it reduces panic. Imagine two people entering the same storm. One studied the weather, built a shelter, stored supplies. The other assumed the sky would stay clear. When the storm hits, both get wet, but only one drowns. Life is the storm. Preparation doesn't stop the rain, but it keeps you from being destroyed by it. That preparation might look like building discipline early, developing communication skills, learning financial literacy, practicing delayed gratification, training emotional control. These are not academic extras. They are survival tools. The deeper truth behind all 5. These 5 truths are not separate. They are connected. Time forces movement. Effort builds strength. Reality demands value. Knowledge creates power. Preparation ensures survival. And underneath all of them is one principle: responsibility. When a child learns to take responsibility early, they become calm under pressure. They stop blaming. They start adapting. They understand that circumstances may not be fair, but their response is always within their control. And that is the core of modern Stoicism. Not emotionless living, not cold detachment, but disciplined responsibility. The ability to act wisely regardless of conditions. A message to parents: it is tempting to soften every blow, to intervene, to excuse, to rescue. But ask yourself, are you preparing them for the world, or preparing the world for them? One approach creates strength. The other creates shock. Love is not protection from reality. Love is preparation for reality. Teach them to wake up early. Teach them to finish what they start. Teach them to handle criticism without collapse. Teach them to choose growth over comfort. They may resist now. They may not understand now. But one day, when they stand steady in a storm that bends others, they will silently thank you. Final reflection. Here's the truth that matters most. Studying may not be the only path. There are many roads to success. But doing nothing is never an option. Inaction is not neutral. It is destructive. If they do not build skills, they build excuses. If they do not build discipline, they build regret. Prepare them now, so life does not have to teach them the hard way. If this resonated with you, drop a yes in the comments. And follow the modern Stoic for wisdom that builds strong minds and stronger futures. Because strength is not inherited. It is trained. And the training begins at home.